Aquamarine is a gemstone that seems to hold the very breath of the sea within. Its sky-blue glow captivates the eye, evoking the serene waters of a cloudless day. In ancient times, it was believed that this stone not only protected sailors on their voyages, but also brought harmony and peace. However, its allure lies not only in its symbolism. Aquamarine has secured an honored place in some of the world's finest jewelry collections. This precious crystal, belonging to the beryl family, possesses a truly mesmerizing energy. It seems that its purpose is not just to adorn, but to become a true work of jewelry art. This is why aquamarine is often chosen for the creation of royal tiaras and crowns, which then grace the ceremonial appearances of royalty. When discussing aquamarine tiaras, true masterpieces of jewelry craftsmanship come to mind. Some have adorned royal heads for decades, while others are kept in private collections, but each one dazzles with its refined brilliance and grace. One of the most striking examples is the Swedish aquamarine kokoschnik. This majestic tiara, made of 7 large aquamarines set in a diamond framework, is truly awe-inspiring. Although its design lacks direct Russian roots, the kokoschnik shape resembles other tiaras from the same period, such as the Prussian meander tiara. This luxurious diadem was created in the early 20th century and possibly joined the royal collection later, as it was not listed among the wedding gifts to Prince Gustav Adolf of Sweden and Princess Margaret of Connaught when they married at Windsor Castle in 1905. The creator of this tiara remains unknown, yet its grandeur is undiminished by this mystery. Both the tiara and the brooch from the same set are adorned with impressive aquamarines, while the diamond lattice elements between the stones lend the piece the traditional kokoschnik form. We are all familiar with the sad story of Margaret of Connaught, whose tragic death led to her treasures being divided among her children. If the aquamarine tiara was part of her collection, it would have been inherited by her eldest son, Gustav Adolf, heir to the Swedish throne. His wife, Princess Sibylla of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, first wore the tiara at a ball before their civil wedding in Coburg in 1932. Throughout her life, Sibylla often wore aquamarine jewelry, even after the tragic death of her husband in a plane crash in 1947. She effectively served as Sweden's first lady after Queen Louise's death, regularly attending official events adorned with her jewels. After Sibylla's death in 1972, the aquamarine set was inherited by her eldest daughter, Princess Margareta. Interestingly, Margareta began wearing the tiara even during her mother's lifetime. By 1964, Margareta was already shining in this piece. In her youth, she wore the tiara at various events, including her younger sister Princess Christina's wedding in 1974. Margareta's daughter, also named Sibylla in honor of her grandmother, wore the family tiara at her wedding to Baron Cornelius von Dinklage in 1998. After the 1998 wedding, the aquamarine tiara disappeared from public view for many years, sparking rumors of its possible sale. However, in June 2010, Princess Margareta unexpectedly appeared at her niece, Crown Princess Victoria's wedding, wearing both the tiara and the aquamarine brooch. The royal court confirmed that although the tiara officially remains in Princess Margareta's possession, it has been left in Sweden for other royal ladies to use. One of the first to wear it was Princess Christina in 2014 and 2015, after her personal tiara was stolen. Then, in 2015, the aquamarine tiara made its debut on Princess Madeleine of Sweden at the Nobel Prize ceremony, and she continues to wear it today. Next on our list of significant jewels is the famous Brazilian aquamarine tiara. In honor of her coronation, Queen Elizabeth II was gifted a set of a necklace and earrings featuring large aquamarines cut into rectangular shapes and set in diamonds and platinum by the President and people of Brazil. These masterpieces of jewelry were created in Rio de Janeiro at the Mappin and Webb workshop. The necklace included a detachable pendant, and in 1958, Brazil presented the Queen with a brooch and bracelet to complement the existing set. The Queen first wore this set during a state visit from the Swedish delegation to the UK in 1954. Later, in 1957, the Queen commissioned Gerard to create a tiara that would harmonize with her aquamarine parure. She adorned herself with it at both gala events and less formal dinners throughout the 1950s and 1960s. In 1971, the tiara underwent modifications. 4 fan-shaped elements were added, which could be used as separate hair ornaments. These elements were gifted to the Queen by the governor of Sao Paulo. The large pendant from the necklace was moved to the top of the tiara, while the previous top of the tiara became a new pendant for the necklace. The modernized version of the tiara remained popular at gala dinners and official banquets. In the 1990s, the Queen frequently appeared in the Brazilian Aquamarine tiara at state banquets, including celebrations in Russia and Eastern European countries. In the 2000s, she continued to wear this piece at Brazilian state banquets, and it was also displayed at Buckingham Palace. Her last public appearance in this set took place at a Spanish state banquet in 2017. Despite differing opinions about the tiara's style, the jewel itself remains magnificent and could have suited the Countess of Wessex beautifully, who has already been seen in 2 aquamarine tiaras. The Aquamarine tiara of Queen Ina is a true masterpiece of jewelry that has left a notable mark in the history of the Spanish royal family. In the early 1900s, King Alfonso XIII gifted his wife, Queen Victoria Eugenie, more commonly known as Queen Ina, a tiara created by the famous jeweler Ansorena. The Queen had noticed a similar piece of jewelry and reportedly hinted gently to her husband that she would like to own something like it. Originally, the tiara was adorned with drop-shaped pearls, which the Queen replaced with large Brazilian aquamarines in the 1920s, making the tiara a part of her impressive Art Deco aquamarine parure. In 1935, Queen Victoria Eugenie gifted her aquamarine parure to her daughter Infanta Beatrice as a wedding present for her marriage to Prince Alessandro Torlonia, Count of Civitella Sesi. The original design of the tiara seemed too delicate for such massive aquamarines, so Infanta Beatrice commissioned the jewelers at Bulgari to redesign the piece. This led to the creation of a new tiara, the Diamond Circle, which resembled the famous Vladimir tiara from the British Royal Collection in its design. In 1954, during the celebration of her daughter's 18th birthday, Infanta Beatrice added aquamarines to her Bulgari diamond diadem, which she wore at numerous celebrations. Subsequently, her daughters, Sandra and Olympia, also shone in the jewels from the aquamarine set. However, the most well-known wearer of these jewels in recent times has been Sibylla, daughter of Olympia. Sibylla, the wife of Prince Guillaume of Luxembourg, wore her great-grandmother Ina's aquamarines at the wedding of her nephew, hereditary Grand Duke Guillaume, in October 2012, thereby drawing public attention back to them. The next piece deserving of our attention is the Wessex Aquamarine necklace tiara. This piece is one of the most modern in the collection of the Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie. The tiara features an exquisite combination of wave patterns with diamonds and a central aquamarine of sea tones, creating an effect of tranquility and purity. What makes this tiara particularly interesting is its transformability. It can be worn as either a tiara or a necklace, adding to its versatility. The tiara made its debut in 2005 during the celebration of the enthronement of Prince Albert II of Monaco. At an opera gala held on November 19th, Monaco's National Day, Sophie, then Countess of Wessex, wore the dazzling piece, complemented by a set of diamond earrings and necklace, possibly featuring aquamarines or blue topaz. Although rumors initially circulated that the tiara was designed by her husband, Prince Edward, it was reported that the piece was crafted by the jewelry company Collins & Sons. This firm later released a similar transformable necklace for sale a few years afterward. Over the years, Sophie, now the Duchess of Edinburgh, has frequently worn this tiara at formal events, including state banquets. Notably, she chose it for the first banquet of King Charles III's reign at Buckingham Palace in November 2022. So, let's conclude today's episode with a story about the unique aquamarine pine flower tiara. This tiara, created by the jewelers at Cartier, is made of diamonds and aquamarines set in platinum. It stands out not only for its beauty, but also for its unusual design. Elements resembling pine cones are interspersed with emerald-cut aquamarines. The tiara cascades low on the sides of the head, creating a sense of harmony in the overall look. Legend has it that King George VI commissioned this piece as a gift for his wife, Queen Elizabeth, who later became known as the Queen Mother, to celebrate their wedding anniversary. The design, inspired by pine cones, may initially seem like an odd choice for a tiara. However, the symbolism of the tree, its resilience and strength, undoubtedly held significance for Queen Elizabeth. She was a steadfast support for her husband during challenging times, from the abdication of Edward VIII to the reign of George VI. Thus, the tiara as a symbol of their strong union was quite fitting. Queen Elizabeth wore this tiara in public only twice, at the Royal Gala performance of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night in 1950, and at the gala performance of Frederick Ashton's ballet at the Royal Opera House in 1951. In 1973, on the eve of her granddaughter Princess Anne's wedding to Captain Mark Phillips, The Queen Mother presented the tiara to her granddaughter. Princess Anne first wore it at a banquet to celebrate the conclusion of the ex-Commonwealth Games in New Zealand in 1974. Although this tiara was not worn as frequently as other pieces in Anne's collection, such as her scallop tiara or the meander tiara of Princess Andrew, it remained an important part of the royal collection. In the 1990s, Princess Anne modified the design by removing the central floral element, which became a separate brooch. Aquamarines were used to create a new centerpiece and pendant, which she often wears with a pearl necklace, including at the garden party at Buckingham Palace in 2019. Princess Anne has also worn the tiara at various state banquets and for official portraits. This family heirloom will undoubtedly remain a part of history and will be passed down to future generations. Which tiara impressed you the most? Would you like to see more in our series on aquamarine jewels? Let us know in the comments!